Welcome to another engaging episode of Hanging Out for a Living, where we explore the stories of individuals who dared to redefine success on their own terms. Today, we're thrilled to have Willie Deifenbach-Jones join us. Willie's journey from a hardworking farm upbringing to a transformative career pivot embodies the spirit of seeking fulfillment beyond the conventional. After years in corporate America, Willie encountered a pivotal moment that reshaped her definition of success. No longer content to be with trading off hours for dollars and missing out on precious family moments, she embarked on a quest for something so much more meaningful. Willie's story is a testament to the power of aligning one's career with their core values and the pursuit of making a positive impact on the lives of others. Welcome, Willie. Thank you for joining us today.
Hey, thank you for having me. I so appreciate it.
Let's dive right into our conversation, our questions. So, your transition from a structured corporate event to embracing the entrepreneurial spirit, I mean, it's really inspiring. Can you share the moment or experience that catalyzed a significant shift in your career path?
I certainly can. I was in corporate America, as you said, for many, many years, and I was very successful. I ran very large teams, 500 people, 600 people, very large teams. And there were things I really loved. Number one, the salary was great and the benefits. Number two, I loved developing people. And number three, I felt like I had tons of opportunity to grow. But there was something I didn't like, and that was corporate America owned my life. I felt like I had to travel when they wanted me to travel, I had to work the hours they wanted me to do. And there was just a lot of bureaucracy. And I think that that's in any large corporation. And so I was laid off. And at the point of time when I was laid off, first of all, I was just shocked. How could they lay me off after I had contributed so much? I was very angry, but I also knew I had to change. I couldn't live that life anymore. You see, at the time, I was a widowed mom. My kiddo was in high school. He played baseball. And if you know anything about baseball, it could be 2 o'clock on Tuesday, 3 o'clock on Wednesday. And heaven forbid, Teresa, if it rains, what happens? And I just missed a lot of games and I hated that.
Yeah.
And so when I was laid off, I started thinking and I said, I have to change. I have to do something different. And a friend of mine invited me to an entrepreneurial event and networking event. And I went to that and I was like, wow, this is so different than anything I've ever experienced because my world was corporate.
Yeah.
And to see all these entrepreneurs doing this and that, the other thing was pretty exciting. And somebody there, not at that event, but later on, introduced me to an opportunity in network marketing. And I never even heard of network marketing. I mean, of course, I've heard of Avon and Mary Kay, but I didn't really know how they worked. I mean, I knew consultants, but I just didn't understand anything more about it. And when it was a product called prompting, some of you may know it as send out cards. When they introduced that to me, I was like, this is brilliant. I
Mhm.
can use this to find a job. And I'm going to be way ahead of all the other job seekers.
Yeah.
And so I jumped on board and started using it to look for a job because I was a customer and I knew exactly what to do. And I developed this process. And guess what? It put me way ahead of all the other job seekers. And I was like, wow, this is brilliant. And then I learned there was a business opportunity. You could make money with this. And I was like, we attract wherever we are in life. So when you're laid off, that's who you find. And I started teaching people how to use it and started making money. And I landed a consulting job. Gosh, I'm going to sneeze. And in the first year, I made more as an entrepreneur than I did in corporate America. And so I was like, why should I ever go back? But between my two consulting and building a network marketing business, it just helped me rise and learn what can I really do.
I love it. That's such an inspiring story, how you came to live life and not let life live you.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely inspiring. So you come from a background really deeply rooted in farm life and the
Yes.
importance, and you talked about the importance of relationships. How have these values influenced your approach to building and sustaining customer satisfaction and loyalty in your business?
I believe that relationships need to be deep, not just a customer to a business. We have to have real relationships and real connections.
Mhm.
And I'm not worried about chasing business because you're going to be, sometimes somebody will say, oh, well, they do the same thing you do. I don't worry about that because you're going to be attracted to who you're attracted. And I believe in adding value, being very connected. And I kind of like to call it good old fashioned values. We valued family, we valued relationships, and we honored that and we lifted it up. And so that just that was ingrained in me. And I just treat my customers the same as my friends. They are my friends.
Absolutely. And I can speak from firsthand experience in that one when it comes to that. I've been blessed by that from you. Thank you. And so, in helping individuals transition to a home-based business, you
Mhm.
emphasize the importance of being hungry, coachable, and of course, hardworking. What are
Mhm.
some of the key challenges you've observed people face in this transition, and how do you guide them through these obstacles?
Boy, that's a good question and a tough question, Teresa. I'll start with the first thing is that I have found very challenging. When I found network marketing, I got it. As soon as I saw how this worked, I got it. And when I talk to people, I see it as the answer. And it might not be my company, but whatever company it is, I see it as a big answer. Now, there's things that are wrong with it, but we don't need to go into that. I can talk about corporate America. There's things wrong with it.
Oh,
And so,
absolutely.
what was really difficult for me is to see people that think that I'm going to stay in corporate America because it's safe. And I'm like, safe? Really? You get laid off
No.
whenever they feel like it. I don't mean that just
Right.
flippy, but you can get laid off. I just talked to somebody the other day and they cut their salary 30% across the board. And I'm just like, how do you live with that? I mean, it's not really safe at all. But when
No.
you start looking internally, the safety comes from within. And I have multiple streams of income. And so when I looked at this, I was like, the safety and the freedom is just amazing. So that's been a major, major challenge for me. I think the second thing that's very challenging for people going into entrepreneurship is to set the hours you work. When you're at home, look at this. I got laundry to do. Oh, look at this. The dogs want to go for a walk. Oh, well, hey, the dishwasher needs to be empty.
Yeah.
And I think one of the difficult things is sitting down and working on things that add value to your business. And what I mean by that is reaching out and talking to people, not sitting behind the scenes and looking at your back office and making notes and making a to-do list and studying a tutorial, getting really into what I call money-making activities.
Absolutely. Rochester, where I'm in, upstate New York, Rochester, New York, we're a prime example of the safety net that everyone thought they had when they worked for Kodak and Xerox and
Oh,
Bausch and Lomb. And if anybody wants to search out what happened to Kodak, you go to Google and they'll tell you all about it. And it talks about that safety net. And I remember the bonuses that these people at Kodak would get. And if you worked for Kodak, you were a lifer. I mean, you had it good until you didn't.
mhm, mhm.
And yeah, to your point, it's crazy.
And I think that's a perfect point with Kodak. I mean,
Yeah.
there's just a lot of companies that were like that. I mean, I think we thought General Electric would be
Yes.
the company forever.
Yeah. Nothing's forever. So
Yes,
let
you're absolutely right, but you can trust yourself.
I totally agree. And I think your point about having multiple streams of income is spot on. You
Mhm.
cannot rely on one source. I mean,
Yes.
especially in this day and age. And look what happened with COVID, what all that brought about. It's really a smart move not to just have one stream of income. So let's
Yes.
wrap up with our last question.
Okay.
Your mission is centered around making a positive difference in the lives of others. Could you share a success story or maybe a particular instance where you felt your work had a profound impact on someone else's life or career?
Oh, there are so many that I have. And first of all, there's a lot of individual ones. You never know what people are going through. And when you send them a card, it's going to arrive at the perfect time and lift people up. And I have so many stories about that. I sent cards last year for the 4th of July. And my one friend didn't get it till much later. But she said that card lifted me up because she said, you're the only person that sent me a 4th of July. I liked getting it late because when I got it, I was going through some hard times. And it was just like somebody celebrating the 4th of July. And the 4th of July, at least in the United States, is kind of a fun holiday.
It is.
But if you wanted to talk about businesses, I got a call earlier this week, actually on Monday of this week. And this guy owned a executive recruiting firm. And this was his own firm, not a franchise. And he said, your business has changed my life. And he said, it's not only helped me gain more clients that I can place people in. He said, that business has just grown because it's all about the relationships. I teach my good old fashioned farm values in relationships. And he said, it's just been great to bring in more clients and what you've taught me. But he said, the second thing is I place more candidates than I ever have because they've learned the power of a thank you note, of keeping in touch and building relationships. And he said, my business has grown exponentially. And I'm like, wow, that's a big compliment. But back earlier, you talked about being coachable. He was very coachable. I said, I'm going to teach you a system, follow the system. And that's exactly what he did. And he taught it throughout his organization. And it's risen him to the top.
That's a great story. And I love how you shared that you taught him a system and he didn't deviate from that system, right? He followed it to the letter. It's kind of like following a recipe, right? If you're going to make a cake, you want to follow the recipe. You leave out one ingredient and that cake is not going to be what you first sampled, right?
Right.
So, no, it's absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I love that. Plan the work the plan, and just keep doing it. That's awesome.
You said it, develop your plan and work the plan.
Absolutely.
Yes, that's absolutely right. And that's probably one of the most brilliant pieces of advice you can give somebody.
And I think the other one is also there's two, and you might be able to want to speak to it. It's being consistent and then divorcing the outcome and marrying the process. And that's what you taught him to do, it seems to me.
And I think that's very critical too, is to follow the process and your results will follow, but maybe not immediately.
Absolutely.
Somebody I talked to maybe 2 years ago, all of a sudden jumps on board.
Yeah.
And it's about just keeping going and don't be married to the outcome, because if you're too focused on the outcome, people feel that. If I show up to sell, you feel that. But
Absolutely.
if I show up to serve and help you lift up, you feel that energy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, folks, Willie's journey, I'm sure you'll agree, is a compelling reminder that success is not a one-size-fits-all concept, but a personalized journey towards fulfillment and impact. So to you folks, our viewers, we hope this conversation inspires you to reflect on what success means to you and how you can make a positive difference in the lives of others. If Willie's story resonates with you and you're eager to learn more about transforming your own path, we invite you to continue the conversation. Willie's contact information is available in the description of this video, and she is looking forward to connecting with those who are ready to embrace a new chapter. Thank you for joining us today. And remember, the possibilities are endless, and you're willing, and especially when you're willing to explore them. Thank you so much, Willie. We'll catch you again soon.
Thank you. Bye for now.
Bye, everybody.